Hi, this is Srilata. Today I'm going to explain about of the topics of US culture, and this is the topics I'm going to explain it step by step. Our first topic is introduction to US culture, and second topic is US work culture for offshore and onshore recruiters, and third topic is US time zones and federal holidays, and our fourth topic is US postal service zip code, and fifth topic is tips for recruiters, and the last topic is common challenges for solution. Here's the first topic is introduction to US culture for IT recruiters. Um, why we want to for the US recruiters to learn about of the US culture means it will be recruited to need the familiar with American work culture, like norms such as individualism and direct communication. It will be the focus for the more results for the performance for the IT recruiters. It will be going through for the both candidates and hiring managers. It will be help for the relationship between the candidate and hiring managers. Okay, and moving forward, it's the objectives. The objectives are the norms of US culture. Understanding the US differences can help you to encourage engagement with candidate and the client by avoiding misunderstandings and conflicts. And bridge culture gap. Bridge cultural gap IT recruitment. Bridge cultural gap means to create communication and mutual understanding between the people from different cultures. It can help people collaborating successfully by focusing on while acknowledging and respecting differences. Recognizing the importance of cultural awareness. Cultural awareness helps people understand the cultural context, the influences people behavior and attributes. It can help the people communicate more effectively beyond the words and the grammar. Access the importance of successful candidate placements. It can find the candidates It can find the candidates who match the company values and culture. It can help the succeeded to their job roles and the positive, and it will be going for the work balanced for the work environment. This is the referral link for the US culture. In here, we can see the references between for the recruiter and the American culture. American work culture. It's going forward. You can see in the down, we can, it's the full references to see the more working hours like and the relations and vacation times. And what is the US culture? US culture is a blend of different traditions and values that have evaluated over the time, influenced by people from various different backgrounds and beliefs. This is the key. Here some we have the key aspects like individualism. Individualism means to encourage to be independent, make their own decisions, and take pride in their personal accomplishments. And the second topic is diverse diversity. It means for US people, home people, there were many different backgrounds, each adding unique traditions and processed unique traditions, and they will go for the different cultures in the different manners in the US culture. Here we have some importance of understanding US culture. We need to build the communication, to build the trust from the clients and the candidates. For the better communication, we need to uh, going forward the candidates and the clients. Why? Because we need to they don't need to have the misunderstandings between the better communications between the clients and the candidates. Like it can help the US based recruiters for the stakeholders, for the elegance between the expect what they are expecting and what they are going for the understandings between the traditions between the US culture. Our next topic is US work culture for offshore and onshore recruiters. Here is the key element for US work culture. Time is money. It's being on time is important for the US as it shows respect for others' time and as seen as the professionals. And direct communication. Direct communication means people appreciate clear and straightforward communication without unnecessary the details to asking for the candidates. And next topic is equality. Equality means that everyone should have the same changes and right. And next topic is work-life balance. Work-life balance means being able to manage both your jobs and personal lives without one taking over the another. And next topic is networking. Networking means building a relationship with other like in our industries to help you grow the advantages in our to growth career. And next topic is your US workplace norms and etiquette. Meeting. Meeting means casually it's like being some um, on time, start on time, casually being promptly. And it's important to follow set as agenda to keep their organizations. And hierarchy. It means in some many workplaces, team have few layers of management, allowing everyone to work together to make decisions. Next is feedback culture. Feedback culture, it has to encourage the team members to share helpful suggestions, and they have regular decisions about their performance, they're frequently setting of the some tips. They're going to have the feedbacks. It is the best for the recruiters to keep the feedback from the recruiters. And addressing colleagues. We should generally call our colleagues by their first name. As usually, they can ask to use the different from the others. From addressing the others, what we have to call in the name. Some we don't like to actually for the recruiters. We need to pick the first name to addressing the our colleagues like co-workers like that. And here we have some key takeaway for the IT recruiters. Our first point is we need to find out what candidate values in terms of balancing their work and professional life, their salary expectations, and they were preferred to work. And the second point is make sure to convey information in a straight manner, and keep in touch frequently with the both clients and the candidates. And for the third point, give the updates for the candidates for the about of submission status. After the submission, we can give the regular updates for the background checkups and about of the interview checkups between the clients and the candidates. It should be the important to update for the both of the candidates and the clients also. And fourth point is respect time zones. Respect time zones means like actually we need to maintain the scheduling the interviews about of the US candidates. Time difference is the important to interview with the candidate in the US to ensure that everyone can participate for the convenient time. And the last point is um, diversity. It is the it is the diversity. Some showcase companies incentive environment to appeal to top candidates. Like we need to pick the top of the candidates or what was the about of the knowing about of the company cultures and company values. We need to pick the to attract the top talented candidates to approaching for the highly committed companies. And handling the salary negotiation. It's like US expectations. When discussing salary with the US candidates, only talk about the pay and benefits. It's like about of the compensation packages, and we need to clear about of the pay rates from the beginning. We need to discuss from the candidate. It's like openly, how much rate are you expecting? And we need to tell about of the recruitment about of the if they gather benefits or no benefits. It's like about of the we need to check the candidate for the travel, how much the interested to candidate has a relocation. If the candidate is relocation, we need to pick the candidates, and we need to ask the candidates if you in the local candidates also, it is the we need to handle the salary negotiations in the US expectations. Unlike the working hours, in the US working hours, actually it's a 40 hours. In the timings as 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Essentially, we know about of the IT sectors, from the big projects, it will be actually especially take the overtime also. And from the and from the and some from IT sectors, not only the IT sectors, actually remote work also be the common. It is the popularly since in the 2020, from the before on the 2020, their clients, and now also the clients are looking for the on-sites to go to work on the candidates in on-site works, and some clients are working hours, it should be the 40 hours. It's like some based on the um visas. Going forward, the visas also be explained. It's like the working hours also be scheduled to be actually for the some candidates as full candidates are working for the 40 hours only. It's like the visa work authorizations or the client given the working hours. There should be the difference from the client given working hours also be the changed also. Some clients needed for the working days or some working weekends, working day by day. It should be changed from the clients also. Next, going for the topic for business
Yeah,
equity.
let's give a break, Suleta. Let's take it slow. And team, any questions so far? Yeah. Just select the topics of Suleta. Let's go to the topics first, and then I'll address each and every question. Yeah, go to the beginning of it. So bookmark this page, and we'll go to the beginning of this one. No, the first page, Srilata.
Yeah, this is the first phase.
No, no, the first page is like we have the topics, right? Yeah, here, yeah. So main thing is like when you come to US culture, okay. So coming from Indian background or any other country background, the main thing you have to focus is we should not impose our work culture or our local culture into American environment. Okay, so when you are talking to American people, you have to respect their culture. Okay, if someone asks like anything, what you did on holidays, you have to tell them. We have to like I live in some other country and like I know a little bit about your holidays. Like this is what every recruiter has to understand. Okay, what are the holidays are there? Like what kind of words we have to use it when we're talking to Americans. Okay, so we don't need to put an accent and then talk to an Americans. So if we are good enough to talk in our Indian English language also, that is fine. But our Indian English is our native. What we usually do is we keep our native language speed and we talk English there. So that is the main problem for every Indian has it, or any other country people also has the same issue. So here the way we have to address that one is you have to go a little bit slow and make sure that concept like whatever you are talking like 2 or 3 lines or 4 lines whatever you talk it to the person, they should be able to understand you. Okay, if they say like pardon me I don't understand it, like you have to keep it slow and make it explainable or put in different words and explain that. So these are the kind of things like what everyone has to understand. Just like in India, like we have different languages by state, and in US also, even though it is in English, thing is every state and every region has a different dialect. The slang will be different. So when we are talking to them, we have to make sure like our slang is they should be able to listen to our slang and they should be able to understand. And the same thing you should be able to practice and listen more YouTube channels are there are like different channels from different state. So by listening to them you will see what is the dialect what they are speaking and what slang they are using. So those are things like which you have to practice as a recruiter if you want to become a USIT recruiter or US recruiter. If you want to be a domestic recruiter you can skip this topic, it's not needed for you guys. It is only for US recruiters only. So an offshore onshore model, like on-site model, it is little. Uh, it's not a different topic, but it's been there in India since 1980. Offshore on-site model, it is there. And when we started this model, like that is where the more cultural adaptation has been happened between India and US. Before 1980s, there was no night shift and those things, but only few companies have started with the night shift in India so that they can support US time zones. So if you become a US recruiter, you'll be mostly working on the night shifts only. So that is one thing which you have to make up your mind. So definitely, like that's what most of the companies will ask for. There are like few companies. There might be one or two positions in a company who will be working in India time to support the night shift team. So that is only in few companies. Not every company has the same structure. And when it comes to time zone, we'll go through these time zones and all those things. And we have to explain you. Srilata, open the website which I shared with you in the chat here. So we'll explain them how to use that websites and they have to adapt like the different time zones, what they have to do. And they can explore more on like how to identify the time zones and what is the daylight savings and how the daylight savings will be impacting on all those things. So we'll go through that in subsequent topics in this one. And the main thing is like we want to understand like basically every recruiter has to go through the same phase. So don't or I mean like don't get confused or don't get overwhelmed in the very beginning itself. Every recruiter has to go through this phase and you have to slowly adapt to this kind of training process or to this work culture. So I always recommend everyone to go slow and do a proper study before you get into recruitment. And if you want to become a USIT recruiter, you need to learn little more topics. Okay, so these are the extra topics which you have to do. And Srilata, continue from here. Like we'll see when it comes to time zones, we'll explain little more details there.
Okay, sir.
Okay, okay, let's go. Okay, go ahead, Srilata. Thank you, Srilata.
Here is our next topic is business etiquette. Business etiquette, it is means like it has to be the punctuality in the time essential, like meeting, following up, so meeting follow up specific portals, and we need to go for the like portals like dressing address codes and often professional, and we can clear apply for the email and phone conservation, like for the standings up about of the um, meeting portals, and we need to clear about of the phone and the email conservations. And next topic is cultural sensitivity. In the cultural sensitivity, our first topic, our first point is about personal questions. Cultural activities in the first point is about personal questions to clear about of the recognizing workplace diversity, and be aware of the various religions and cultural holidays, and understanding the regional differences.
One second, Srilata. Here, like we are not going in detail of the topics here. So avoid personal questions. Like most of the our culture, like local culture, we ask a lot of personal questions. How much salary you make? Where do you live? What is your address? Are you married? What are you doing? Are you having girlfriend or anything? Like these are all the personal questions. As a recruiter, you should never ask these kind of questions. Even though Indian culture and some other cultures, we we generically ask these questions. But when it comes to Americans, like it has their personal space. We should never invade their personal spaces. Okay. Always be polite and be professional. Ask the questions what you really need for your hiring needs only. Don't go into their personals. That is the main thing which you have to learn as a recruiter. Okay, but the rest of things like understanding diversity in workplaces, like you might be working with on-site Americans, and you will be working in India or other country as an offshore. You definitely need to understand how you have to communicate with your peers in on-site side, and how you want to communicate, like whether you have to give the respect to them, like for any holidays or like anything. There could be days like where India will be off on Diwali or and there are like few other festivals like where India will take completely off. That's a time like in US people will be working here, and days where like US people will take off and India team will be working. So these are the things like which you have to respect to them, and you should never bring up those differences and say, okay, uh, you guys work on this day, we are working on this day. It is not like you're not supposed to interact in those kind of things. You have to be professional at your workplaces, even though in your communication, like anyway, in the chat messages or even in emails, you should be very professional doing that. Religious and cultural holidays. Never ever criticize about their cultural differences. Like there are like people like who are anti of some religion. So we should never bring up those kind of things in the office environment. Do you do whatever you do, it's your personal thing. You never bring up those things in the office environment. So those are things. Regional cultural differences, like regional cultural differences, usually it won't apply for our Indians, but there are other country people, like who it might impact them. There is there is cultural difference, like basically like I know few Mexicans and like Indian cultures, like I know different diversity of cultures. But main thing is like they always like argue the culture is our culture is much better and your culture is little worse, and like the differences, those kind of things. You should never bring up those kind of things in the work environment. So it is a sensitive area which you don't want to do much discussions there. Okay. So always like in the top portion, like business etiquette, that is like where you do proper email communication. You should not like call them like nicknames or something like that in chat or something. So you should always like represent with their first name. In India, like we usually do with the last names, but here with their they always ask for first names only. So that is the work culture which you have to go. And yeah, Sriyata, go ahead with the next topic. So I just want to interrupt here because cultural sensitivity is where most of our team, most of our people will be off balance here.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Sriyata.
Here we are. Next topic is communication style. Email etiquette. In the email etiquette, we have the first point like subject line should be concise. Email etiquette calls for the clear and concise about of the subject line to quick convey the purpose of message. And second point is avoid call caps. Avoid using all caps in email. Uh, it goes for the across for the emails. And third point is write clear, concise emails. Make sure your email
One
or
second, I'm here. Like, what is the do you why we have to avoid all caps means in Western cultures, like using all caps means we are shouting at them. That's the main reason, like we want to avoid. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Srilata.
next third point is write clear and concise email. Make sure you our email are clear and to find the point of communication like effectively. And fourth point is use for first name common in business. It means in the business emails it's common to address colleagues by their first names. Okay. Next point is keep emails short and concise. For the briefly, it will going to focus on ensure the message. It will be easy to understand to for the, sending the email to consider the message in short form. And the next point is proofread before sending. Always we need to check before the sending to catch the any error or any type mistaking. We need to check the before sending the message to for the candidates. We need to check the email before it's sending. And next point is if you have when in doubt, use a call or for the sensitive matter uh, we are not sure it's the message is in correct like means we can directly call a candidate for the sensitive is there any sending an incorrect messages incorrect email. Make sure it's not the email, it's not the correct way to email again. Make sure we can to make the call and to is there any misunderstanding messages like we can send it in for the candidate. Make sure to make a call and set in the call only for the candidates about of the it's like misunderstanding messages and we can explain for the candidates about of the email. Okay. Next, our next topic is phone etiquette. We can phone etiquette is phone etiquette. We can we can directly answer the call in promptly, like we can directly
Yes, Shweta, let me complete the topic. And here, answering from phone promptly means you have to be attentive. Like usually, like they call by when you call an American or someone, or you any other country people, you should be polite and you should be answering phone. And if you don't answer the phone, also that is fine. All you have to do is reply back to them, or you can call back them when they are ready. Okay, so whenever you are free, you can call back them, and you can do only twice. Don't call them multiple times. Multiple times calling them is an irritation. If any other person like is not picking a call for two dials, that means they are not interested to talk to you. That's what it means. So you should not be prolonging and calling and messaging them all the time. I need this information. Call me, call me. Do you should not harass them. That's called harassment. We should not do those kind of things. Okay. And introduce yourself clearly. Your introduction has to be very clear, and it has to be only two lines. You should not go chit chat with them and say like, I'm blah 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 blah. I'm from this company. I'm this from the region. No one cares about that, because your thought and your motto is to talk to the person who is looking for a job, and you have to onboard into your company. That is your goal. Once they are onboarded, that's the time you will have personal bonding with them. You can chit chat for a little longer, but in the initial very first call itself, you have to be very precise. From calling from so and so company. This is the purpose I'm calling you. Is this a good time to talk to you? That's all it should be. Two lines. That's concise introduction. If they say I'm not interested to talk to you, you have to say politely, thank you. Uh, I'll look forward to talk to you in future requirements. That's all you have to say, and you have to hang up the call. So that's what it should be. Active listening. So never interrupt any person who is talking another side. If they are having like some kind of explanation, like why I don't want to apply for this position, all those things, you should never interrupt them. You always listen to them and make sure you understand their concerns thoroughly, and then given a proper answer. Okay, you have to say either thank you or there is another way to do this requirement. If you are interested only, we'll proceed further. If not, we'll drop the requirement there itself. So that is the active listening. Will do it. Avoid interrupting. So I already talked about interruption. So avoid filter words like maybe or I'll try and all those things. Your response should be very directive response. If you say I'll look into it and I'll get back to you, so then you have to get back to them. Okay. So may you never use what you say a word which never end with maybe I'll try. These are the things like which is doesn't have any meaning in any conversation. But you can say like usually if you'll try like if they ask for a better rate, that is the time you can use it. I'll try my best. I'll talk to my manager. I'll try my best. That is the word which you can use it there. And for other things like if you can you get me a job, and you'll say it's my responsibility is to represent you, and I'll do my best. I will try, and those are things like which usually we don't do use those kind of words actually. And the rest of the things we can always in the initial conversation mostly we have to be very cautious there. Okay, most of the times that is where like mishappening miss sorry what you say that is where like most of the times we'll be misspoken like a lot of words, and that's where the miscommunication happens. Okay, that's the thing. And professional yet friendly tone. So you should not be very harsh. Like if they say, uh, I'm not interested, you should not change your tone at the time. Okay. And leave a polite voicemail. So some people will say like very rude voice messages. Hey, I'm from this company. Give me a call. It doesn't sound very appropriate and it doesn't sound polite. So you have to tell them I'm from so and so company. When you get a chance, please give me a call. So that sounds like you're requesting them to give a call back so that anyone will respond to you. Okay, that's the thing. And you can go back and there is a reference link here. You can always look up this article. You can always read more about these topics. And as a recruiter, yeah, in the initial stages, you have to do more study. Then only you can be a very proficient and professional recruiter. Yes, Srilata, let's go next slide, Srilata.
Our next topic is US time zones. In the United States, we have the nine time zones. It has like Atlanta and the Eastern time zone and the Central time zone, Mountain time zone, and the Pacific time zone, Alaska, Hawaii, and Soma, and Chamori. And actually, we have the as a USRT recruiter, we have the four major time zones we are working in the US, like EST, CST, MST, and PST. It is the Eastern Standard Time Zone. EST means Standard Time Zones. Like it can covers the eastern part of the over, like the states of New York, Florida, or Washington. It's like the some parts of like different states. It has covered in like the EST. And the EST time zone, it's like the UTC means it's a coordinated universal time. Like it changes the daylight timing. Like from the March to November, it has to be changed the timings. Like if it's the afternoon 12 p.m. If it's the afternoon 12 p.m. in EST, it has the in the other states, the CST means like 1 hour less than the 11 a.m. From EST to MST, it has 1 hour less than from the CST time zone. It should be changed the time like 10 a.m. From MST to PST time zone, it has changed the 1 hour of 1 hour less on MST time zone to PST time zone. From the EST to PST time zone, it has covered the 3 hours from the EST to PST time zone. It has hovering it's less than from EST to EST to CST, CST to MST, MST to PST. From EST to PST, the time zone differences has to be the shade difference from the hours is 3 hours. From EST to MST, we have the time difference. It's going for the 2 hours is the difference from the EST time zone. On next, going for the UTC means like from the daylight saving time means from the March to November, it has the time zone going for the forward for the from like it's from like going for the forward means like it's from if the time is now 1 p.m. It's the for the daylight time zone means it will be go for the again 1 hour um moving forward like it's from the 1 p.m. means it's moving forward for the 2 p.m. And the Central Standard Time Zone. Central Standard Time Zone means it's covered the central part of the country, central part of the country in the US. In the US, we have seen some states like Texas, Illinois, um, Tennessee. It has the different states. It has to be covered from the some central time zones. And it is also the daylight time saving time zones. Like it has the differences between the eastern to from eastern to central, and here also we can see the time zone differences. It's like 12 p.m. CST means it's 1 p.m. on EST. Like means it's 1 hour apart from the EST, and we have the changes from 1 hour less than MST, and from MST to PST it has the different like 1 hour less than um MST to PST. Here's the mountain standard time zone. It's like called as MST. It has covers the west mountain religions and western. It has to be covered from the different states of the countries.
Yeah, but
Here we
this topic, let's show the map and then we'll talk. This very dry topic to them. Let's show the map and explain that. Okay? They can read the PPTs. Like, let's show the map first. Yeah, here if you see this, guys, this is what a visual representation of time zones. And go ahead, Shilata.
yes. Sir. Now, here is the time zones like EST, CST, MST, and PST. EST means like here we see the running the time zone of timing hours is 1:30, 1:30, 1:30, 1:36. And the central means we 1 hour less than from the EST. It's like 12:36. From central to mountain, here we have 1 hour less than like 11:36. From mountain to from MST to PST, we have 1 hour less than from the MST to PST like 10:36. From EST to PST, we have running hours like 3 hours is less than from the EST to PST.
Yeah, team, like this is where we want to do respect. We said a topic of respect the time zones, right? So we want to respect the time zones in this manner because when you go to if you are working for a company which is operating in EST time zone, your office hours will be early. If you are working for a company in Pacific time zone, your start time will be little late in India also. So you should not go on like when you're working in EST time zone, you should not go and talk to the person who is in PST time and call them when it is 9 a.m. for you. I mean for EST time zone, it will be 4. I think 4 a.m. to them in different its time zones will be not time zones. It depends on daylight savings and the normal timings. If you should not like the moment you start your work, you cannot go and talk to the call the people who are in mountain time and PST time. You should not go and talk to them directly. You have to see what time zone they are in, and you should collect the data in email or whatever it is. So, or you can message the WhatsApp them, or like you can message them also. Some companies will have SMS messaging also. You should respect the time zones. You should not call them at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning and say, oh, "I have this so position for you." Same thing, like when you are working for a company in Pacific time zone, you should not call them at night in the 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. or 9 p.m. You should not call them and say, "I'm looking for this so position. Are you available?" So those are the time zone respects of what you have to do. So in India, we have like I think 13 minutes, 15 minutes or 18 minutes. It's subject to correction from coast to coast. The time difference in India we have because India is a small country and we have like very well a small distance between coast to coast. That is the reason we have only 13 minutes or 18 minutes difference between coast to coast. But apart from that, that is the reason like India will maintain only one time zone. We don't maintain multiple like even though it is time difference is there, we will not do that. But in US it is there because it's a vast country and when it is night in the EST time, it will be still day. I mean daytime. You can see the daylight in the PST time still. So these are the things like what you guys have to adapt to learn what is the time zones, and you definitely need to ask the candidate like when you're talking to them what time zone they are in, and you definitely to need to know make a note and but next time when you're calling them, make sure you're not calling them in the early in the morning. Usually calling after 8 is respectful. Calling anytime before 8 is not needed unless you are in very desperate position to talk to the candidate and make a placement. That is the thing. So that is the thing. The rest of the slides you can read it there. It's a very dry topic. You can read it, but visual representation is much better. And Srilata, show them the website, like where they can see the times and the world body, right? Like I shared in the group. So open that thing and let's show them how they can easily look up the time, current time. They should not care about daylight savings, nothing. The website will handle all those details. Yeah, here if you see this, guys, like you can add more time zones if you want to. So the London time zone is there. You can delete you can type IST here, CST, IST, and all those things. Yeah, you can delete that London, Cairo, and all those things. Moscow. You can add IST. Just delete. Click on yeah. IST. You can type IST, EST, and all those things. So make a note of this website, guys. Like this is what you'll be using day to day life, and you should know the difference, like in your local time zone and what time zone you are looking for. So type the PST and MST. That should be good. Okay, yeah. Now if you see, like based on your Indian timing, you can check it out, like what time it is right now in each and every different time zone. Yeah, Srilata, could you please drag the IST to top so that it will be easy. So it should be in order, Srilata. So just drag and drop, I think. Yeah, that's it. Put the EST, then CST, and yeah, drag EST also onto the top. Yeah, that's it. So now if you see it's in the order, guys. Like you can see what is the time difference between each and every zone here. Right now in EST it is 12 p.m., but it is still 9 a.m. in PST time zone. So this is what, as a US IT recruiter or US recruiter, this is what the thing you first thing you have to learn. Respect the time zones. You can take a screenshot. It is all being recorded. You can always refer back here, and you can memorize these things. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Let's go to a different topic, Srilata.
Our next topic is federal holidays. Here we have see some US federal holidays like New Year and it is a main importance for the President's Day, Memorial Day, and uh, Independence Day and Labor's Day, and but the Thanksgiving Day and the Christmas Day. Here we have some references links we can see in this link.
Yeah, guys. These are the federal holidays. Like in these days, like mostly no one will work here. And in India, like if you are working for US IT recruiter, you will be observing this same holidays. And additional thing, you will be observing only major festival holidays like in India. The rest of the place, like you will be working. Even though it is holiday in India, you should be working if you are working for a US recruitment company. So that's the thing. Yeah. Go ahead, Srilata, for a different topic.
Our next topic is US Postal Service and zip code. Actually, in the US postal zip code means it's a zone important plan. It has a different from the different states. We have some different zip codes. It's like some we need to search in the United Postal States to delivery mail efficiently. It's like for the some key points we have. It's like a standard zip code have 5 digits. And we have zip plus 4 codes are 4 to additional for the more preference location identification. Here we have the first digit going for this general geographic area, like it's from east to west. We have the zip codes like 0 to 9. It's the first digit for the geographical area, and for the next 2 digits it's going for the um, Sectional, for the larger cities or sectional centers, it's for the second two digits, and the last two digits it has to be for the uh, post post office or delivery area.
It is
This
just
is
like our pin. It is just like our pin code. Somehow in India we have pin codes. It's just like that. So the last two digits will say which postal office is close to. So it's just the same thing what is there in US, and we can map it that way.
for the recruiters. We have to be identify the candidate addressing, where the candidate is living. It's the mostly important to search like we need to check in the zip code, or you can we can enter the address also. It will be shown for the clear identification the candidate current location also. And we need to go for the candidate. If the client has needed for the local candidates, means it will be helpful for the to identify the candidate where the current location also. We can take the zip code, or we can take the present addresses. It will be helpful to addressing the candidate to for the identify the candidate location. It will be going for the it's important to for the we can check the offer letters or contracts. It will be the main importance to for the zip codes. For every state or every country, we have different zip codes. It should be has started from the different like this we have to see the different zip codes entered with the some states, we can see here. This is the zip codes of the US states. It's 53, 54 or 60, 62. It's the starting of the zip code. We can search in from the different states or countries. Here is we have some link. We can search in the zip codes. It's here. Here we can check the zip code link. Here I just searched for the Atlanta, Georgia. Here we can see some zip codes of the some different countries in Atlanta, Georgia. From the different local areas, we can search in the zip codes. It's you can see the more information about of the here is the zip code for the it is the eastern. It is located in the eastern, and it's the area of 404, and it's the more information we can see about of the candidate's location. Here we are on the topic is benefits of cultural knowledge. Benefits of cultural knowledge. The cultural knowledge, it should be the better communication between the candidate about of the interaction, about of the clear communication. It will be the more effective for the chances to communicate with the candidates. And the second point is better understanding the candidates motivation. We need to provide for the insight into the candidates, motivations and expectations, uh, leading to the better elegance also. And third point is ability to effectively sell the opportunity and company culture. It means effectivity selling means the recruiter to effectively present job opportunity and the company culture to the candidates. We need to know about of the company culture, and we need to know about of the job opportunities. It should be the more effectively to see the for the candidates. Next topic is next point is successful matching. It means successful matching means it should can increase the chances of matching candidates to the company. needs to be the role. We can match the candidates. It should be the candidates matching to be the company. It's for the role accuracy.
No, it is basically like candidate's goal and company goal has to be in same alignment. Okay. Say for example, if your company is looking for someone who is very proficient in Java technologies and they want to work in enthusiastic environment and like learn new things and implement it. Okay. So that is the what company is expecting. And the candidate says like I'm not going to learn any new thing. I'm going to work on whatever I learned so far. So that is the difference, like which the candidate will not fit your company. So that is one thing, like you have to understand what is our company culture, how our company is trying to grow in the future, and company growth path you have to definitely know as a recruiter. So that's where you get like a more exposure to the company, more you work with them, the more cultural differences, like what kind of culture the company has, whether the company will fit for any kind of person or like we have to find for very narrow I mean like instead of broad spectrum you have to see very narrow spectrum and see like we you have to weed out only people who fit in that roles and with the same culture. Okay. And increase success rate in matching candidates to company needs. That is what like we just spoke about what your company goal and candidate goal has to be in hand, not should be north and south pole, like we should be in same thing. If company is like working looking for a good knowledge person who can implement new things, you want to find for a person who is uh, willing to learn the new things and adapt into the company. And hiring higher candidate satisfaction and low drop off rates. So with this, like when you find right candidate, like they will never drop off you and they will never shadow you. I mean, like ghost you from answering your calls because they are also in the same path. Okay, I'm interested to go into this kind of company. They will be always like looking forward to communication with you and a strong relationship with the US based hiring managers. So here, like what you have to do is as a recruiter, you definitely need to create LinkedIn and other social media accounts. You can start it from today itself. Create with your first name, last name. Don't do any other names. And email should be a proper, good email, which you use it for a very long time. So you can, from today itself, you can start building your career profile. So when you go into a company, that will help out you a lot. But don't overdo everything in single day. Just add like few connections, like build you within your friends first, then look for a little more contacts. My recommendation is don't do anything drastically. Don't connect with everyone like within first 2 months itself. And they'll block your account or anyone like even JobsHorn. We do the same thing. If they're trying to do anything like what is not designed in the application, we'll block them immediately. So anything on social media, just like Facebook or anything, where you don't uh, overdo anything, connecting to people, messaging people, those kind of things. Gradually, you have to increase it, and by the time you're done with this course and you're done with the entire job career and everything, you should have the proper good social profile. It should be your social footprints matters everywhere, so you can always like put like where you got trained and all those things. You can always mention in your social media places, and you can definitely get into good jobs after this one. Yeah. Yeah. Next slide, please, Srilata.
So
Yeah, go ahead with the tips for recruiters. Like I'll see if anything need to be covered.
here we know next topic is tips for recruiters. Here for the first topic is best practice. For the best practice, it should be the deep understanding about of the company values and the company culture, and it should be the understanding the position of the better match candidates. And the second point is to be the clear of specific qualification about of the candidate and need the skills. We need to check about of the position. We need to find the right fit for the submission of the candidate. Maintain candidates. Like we need to keep an organization to update the database of the candidates, like streamline and the recruitment process. And the next point is follow up consistency. Like regularly, we check with the candidates and the clients to maintain relationship to encourage ongoing communication. And next topic is candidate interaction. We can respect the candidate timings like from the candidates. We need to check the candidates timings, and we can give the candidates for the clear feedback about of the client status, like means, and we need to clear maintain about of the candidate like the professional boundaries. And we can follow up the communities, like we need to follow up the communities commitments, like if the if like an example, like means we can give the candidate, like we can call back about of the feedback, means we can update that in the feedback, and we can give the feedback, like it's like the commitment to right time we can give the feedback for the candidate, means it should be going for the like we can feed the commitments.
Yeah, one thing here, guys, like, when you do the commitment, basically, like, what you mean is, say, for example, if you are saying that I'm going to get a feedback on your or on your hiring by this date, you need to make a note of it and get back to them. Okay, on the so and so day, I had to go respond to a candidate that this hiring is done or not done, like, they are not qualified or not qualified, those kind of things. You definitely need to do a follow up on that and yeah, update the candidate all the time. If you didn't get any update from your superiors, like that's the time you have to tell them, I'm still waiting for my managers to give a feedback on your submission. Your communication has to be clear and, like, frequently you need to communicate with the candidate so that the candidate will stay with you instead of ghosting on you, or you ghosting on the candidate is not a good thing in the recruitment process. It's not like a one time deal. You have to do a long term relationship with a candidate. So you need to definitely write down or make a note of what time you committed to candidate, that you will be getting back to them. So even the candidates, some candidates, they are very good at bookkeeping. They know they will be expecting a call, or they, if not, they will be responding to you back, and they say, like, I was waiting for your response. I didn't hear from you. So that's the time you have to send an apologize message or something, like, sorry for it, like, I couldn't get any update on your submission. These are the kind of things, polite things, what you have to keep looking at it. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Srilata.
um, we can here we have the another tips, like our communication between the candidate to make sure it's like the relevant to avoiding generic messages. And be ready to have the transparent conservation about of the you can directly open about of the how much salary expectations from the beginning only. And we can need to check the candidate candidate profile. It's the candidate is cultural, it's like to fit about of the requirement, means we can go through for the candidate, and we can check the candidate if the candidate is worked. And if the client need the local job marketing, means here we have the local job marketing, means if you can keep the information about of the industry, it can for the local job marketing to make informed recruitment decisions. Like we can go for the local job marketings, they can take the own decisions about of the recruitment taking. Next topic is we can create the cultural, we can create the relationship between the industry and the recruitment efforts. And we have some social medias I'm showing here. Here we can use the social medias about of the sourcing for the candidate, and for the new job requirements also. You can source in some social medias I'm showing here. And here is the link I'm opening. Here we have some tips, like to moving. We can check here. It's like tips for the recruiters, and we can you can go through for the check for the step by step process also. Common challenges and solutions. Common challenges and solutions. We have is challenge. Miselegant of communication between the candidate and recruiter. It should be can clear the expectations from the starting. Make sure the conservation between the everyone for the same page regarding about of the hiring process or the different role requirements and the timelines also. And next point is misunderstanding due to the cultural differences. Be practice essential to activate the listening to understanding the candidates. What the candidates between the conservation, what the candidate is asking about of the cultural, what they are, why they are. I mean, what about of the candidate is talking about of the. Is there any from the differences? Like he can telling about of the work balances, and he can tell about of the um like roles also. You can clearly listen about of the candidate, what the candidate is telling. You should be prevently we can check the candidate work balance also to for the recruitment process for the for the recruitment process. And second one is second challenge is managing time zone differences. The managing time zone differences, it will be help to can check the we can manage the clients and the candidates. It actually as usually it can take the Google calendars and stack calendars, make it sure to the scheduling meetings and the communication across differences between the time zones. Next topic is questions to avoid. We need to avoid asking about of the age or the date of birth for about of the candidates. And second point is mutual status. We don't need to ask about the candidate status like married or single like that. And the third point is relation. We don't ask about of the candidate relations like briefly or practicingly also about of the relations. We don't need to ask the questions like candidate nationality, or we need to don't need to reveal the candidate ethicity or two. And the family planning, we don't need to ask about of the candidates plan regarding like about of the family or the children. We don't need to ask for the candidates like the different questions from the family. Sexual ornament, we can avoid the related to the candidates sexual organization, like don't need to ask about of the candidates like we don't need to ask about of the candidates like a sexual organization also.
No, 1 second, Amma. Here, the sexual orientation means like, you should not ask are you male or boy or those things, because here there are a lot of gender things, very specific things are there. There are general neutral questions like you should never ask those things, because there is a LGBTQ and there are many different things which you have to be very cautious on those kind of things when you're asking them. And we have to give them more options, like, if they want to, if you really want to hire a male or anyone or something like that, you should be give an option to everyone, because gender equality is a very dominant thing in any other country, Western countries. And if you are hiring any particular gender person, like, you need to give proper justification why only men are needed in this job or why only women are needed in this job. So those kind of things. And for that also, when they are listing the gender, you just need to should not have only one or two options like male or female. You should have many options there. Like, you can go look up on all those things, and usually like there will be men, women, and prefer not to say. These are the three things usually it will be there, but there are like many other options which they will be filling under that one, which no one should ask either verbally or in the email communication. We should not ask those things. Okay, yeah. Go ahead to the next topic, guys.
Um, These are today's topics. We have explained it in step by step. So.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Srilata. And team, like guys, like any questions so far? If you have any questions, You can ask us. I was asking for the feedback, like, how you want to change this presentation or anything else. I didn't hear anything from you guys, but we are looking for any feedbacks from your side.